So I was recommended by a new friend of mine, Maria Town, who has been here before. I love and admire Maria, and any time that Maria says this is a really good idea, I'm gonna do it. I'm amazed by the amount of work that she's been able to do in the past and what she's accomplished, and the fact that now she works at the city of Houston. I had no idea about this thing, never heard of it until I got an email saying, "Hey, you've been nominated. We really want to talk to you." And I was like, "What?" Um, and I had, like, how much does this cost? What is this going to be? But when finding out that it was completely accessible to me, I jumped at the chance because being able to be with people who can stretch my ways of thinking, who are in political circles that I'm not in, I think that as a transgender person, that's some place I need to be making sure that people who are working policy are considering the entire LGBTQ community and talking about access to reproductive justice or wherever, that they're being mindful of who different people are. I think it's still something that wanting to be for it to be tangible, for to hold on to and grab, and it's an amazing concept of being able to make sure that, like, you're not just thinking about something from your own point of view, from your own bubble, right? I get so siloed into thinking, this is the way we all think, or we're all here. I think a lot of people do that via their friends, their Facebook group, what they're reading on Twitter, because we get to, modify that and block somebody when we don't want them, snooze them for 30 days when we don't want those comments. But so I think having a loyal antagonist, of having somebody who uh, is going to bring you a different viewpoint and push back on the way that you think about things, is something that we all need. Everybody needs to embrace that, and it's not just talking about the movable middle. Who can we sway to go on this journey with us? But how could I, and somebody who is fundamentally different from me as far as their center of gravity, or their primary gut check, go on a journey together where that they can help me see things um, from a broader viewpoint. And I think that's really what we're getting at, is a sounding board, but more than a sounding board of yeah, that's a good idea. It's like, yeah, that might not work, or the reason that this doesn't work is XYZ. But also for me is the gut check of, is this transphobic? Is this homophobic? Is this misogynistic? And hearing from other people about why their views are going to say that no, those aren't. This is a perfectly reasonable situation. Or yes, it is, and it's more. And I think that's what we need more of, to be able to have these conversations. I've got a couple, and one of mine is I mean, we're still pretty much in the same bubble. We're both progressives. He is a white, gay, cisgender man. But when I think of him, and when I think about things that I read, that it's like, is this misogynistic? Is this transphobic? And I usually go to him for my gut check, because I know he's not gonna, like, blow smoke up my backside, right? He's gonna tell me what he sees, and it's probably to an extent that we both are gonna see things somewhat similarly. We're both white, we're perceived white, but he also grew up in a smaller town, more rural, and in Texas. So it's also helpful to have, like, what is a Texas knowledge. And so I usually think of him, and I also have friends in my life that are different colors, different backgrounds, different racial ethnicities, that are really important for me to bring to the table and bring to my way of thinking. Not my way of thinking, but bring into my thought process, I guess, of what that looks like. Of, are we being racist? I mean, there's systematic racism everywhere. I'm racist. I was raised white. So how can I be thinking of a broader scope about this, while seeing my limitations, owning my limitations, and seeing, okay, I've got to get past this. So I'm fortunate enough to have some in the progressive movements that I'm working in within the circles in Texas.